I thought possibly with all those folks that may or may not be from the school, that when I say good afternoon, there we go. That's the way we're going to start.
Good afternoon, Ms. Herr.
Thank you.
Good teaching.
Thank you. That's probably the last time I'll ever be accused of that. All right, we are going to kick off the afternoon session with the quarterly employee service recognition. This is our favorite thing to do in the quarter.
Yes.
Christina Brandolini at the podium.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners, back again. You guys are probably sick of seeing me up here this morning. But this afternoon, we have the pleasure of recognizing several employees for their service to Seminole County. And I actually am happy to start today's recognition with one of my own. So Elizabeth Dean, Human Resources Coordinator, has 20 years of service. So I'm going to be multitasking with this one. So Elizabeth can come out. I had to figure out the multitasking before. But Elizabeth began her career with the county in January 2006 as an executive assistant in the county manager's office. Since 2015, she has been the friendly voice on the other end of the human resources main line and serves as our personnel file and public records extraordinaire. When she isn't assisting employees with ID badges and completing employment verifications, she spends time with her husband, Danny, who is here, her 4 kids and 7 grandkids. She enjoys boating with their dog Dudley and their 20-year-old cow Monet cat Boo. So I had to learn how to say that word. So congratulations. How many? Okay. Well, congratulations. And I was worried about my multitasking, so I forgot to mention that once we get through everybody, then we'll do photos at the end. Next, we have Chris Stronko, Animal Services Division Manager, who will be recognizing Albert Adams, Program Manager for Animal Services, for 20 years of service.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Al Adams. Al Adams started with Animal Services in 2006 as an animal control officer. And since then, he's held just about every management position there is within Animal Services and done a fine job at that. He continues right now in his role as a special projects manager, and he handles most of our forward-facing events and does a great job at that. That's a new assignment for him. For a second, though, I'd like to talk about the man. Al is a leader in his church. He's a leader of wonderful children, all successful children. Al is a great person out of work, just as he is at work. And I'd just like to bring that to everybody's attention, that Al really contributes to the community around him, and that that's a great thing to have an employee that does it on both sides of the fence. So, congratulations.
We would like to know if you all could come back to every quarterly employee session.
The kids say yes.
Next, we have Chief Matt Kinley, who has several folks from the fire department. We will start with Shane Degler, firefighter with 25 years.
Good afternoon again. Matt Kinley, Fire Chief, Seminole County Fire Department. So firefighter EMT Shane Degler is a graduate of Mariner High School in Cape Coral and attended Valencia College, where he earned his Associates of Arts degree and later graduated from Fire Standards from Lake Tech. Firefighter Degler began his career with Seminole County Fire Department in January of 2001, as many of us did, and has served on the Tower Team, Special Hazards and Operations Team, the Tanker Team, and he's currently assigned to Tanker 42. In 2021, firefighter Degler is one of the department's airboat operators at Station 42, and in 2024 was honored with a life-saving award for his heroic efforts during an airboat rescue of a drowning victim. Firefighter Degler currently lives in Eustis with his wife and has an 18-year-old daughter, Zoe. Congratulations. Next, we have Lieutenant Jason Joyce. keep it brief. I know you want it brief. Lieutenant Joyce attended EMT and fire standards at Seminole State College. Lieutenant Joyce has spent the majority of his career on the Special Hazards and Operations team and was a founding member of Florida Task Force 4. He is currently assigned to Station 41 on C Shift. Lieutenant Joyce was born and raised in Central Florida and lives in New Smyrna Beach with his wife and 2 children. Congratulations.
Hey, Chief, how many years?
25. All of these are 25 until I get to the last.
35.
And then we got a 35. Engineer Eric Rogers. Engineer Rogers is a graduate of Daytona Beach Fire Academy and began his career in January of 2001 with the Seminole County Fire Department. Engineer Rogers is currently assigned to Station 43 in Chulioto on C Shift. Thank you for covering my house. Engineer Rogers is a member of the department's Honor Guard, Burn Team, Fitness Team, Logistics Team, and Peer Support Team, along with the Tanker Team, and a crew member of the department's airboat. Engineer Rogers resides in Paola, area of Seminole County, with his wife and 2 daughters. Congratulations. Another 25. Lieutenant Kevin Jones. Lieutenant Jones is a graduate of Oviedo High School. He attended Seminole State College, where he obtained his EMT and firefighter credentials. Lieutenant Jones was employed by the Castleberry Fire Department in 2001 through October of 2015, when the Castleberry Fire Department merged with the Seminole County Fire Department. In 2006, he became a Florida State certified paramedic. In September 2022, he was promoted to the position of engineer, the first for the tower team in Seminole County's history. In March of 2024, he was promoted to lieutenant. Kevin lives in Volusia County and is married with 2 children and with a daughter and son. Congratulations. Another 25 years. Christina Veracay. Christina is a graduate of Pine Ridge High School. Following her graduation, she attended Seminole State College, where she earned her EMT certification along with other credentials. Christina began her career with the Seminole County Fire Department in the Emergency Communications Center as a 911 telecommunications operator. Over the course of her 8 years, she became a certified training officer, demonstrating strong leadership and exceptional operational expertise. She later transitioned into an administrative role as a management support coordinator, where she has worked under the operations chief for the past 17 years, contributing significantly to the department's operations and support. Christina resides in De Leon Springs area of Volusia County with her family. She is married and has 2 sons and can't wait to go sit down. "35 years. Fire Inspector Tom Gray. Inspector Gray graduated from Winter Park High School in 1983 and enlisted in the USMC following graduation. Tom began his career with the Winter Springs Fire Department in 1991, and in 2008, with the consolidation, joined the county. Tom worked 30 years on shift as a firefighter paramedic, and for the past 6 years has served as a fire inspector in fire prevention. Tom has been a Seminole County resident for 35 years, currently resides in Geneva with Cindy, his wife of 32 years. They have 2 daughters and 3 grandchildren. Tom intends to retire in July of this year. And that's it, there aren't any more. We're done, right?
One more.
No.
Yes, we actually have one more. Deputy County Manager Tricia Johnson, I was going to say will roast, but is going to close out with Chief Kinley with 25 years.
Chief Kinley does not enjoy recognition, so I will keep this to 10 minutes and 1 slideshow.
One slideshow
I'm worried because of what
with pictures from his youth.
His journey is one of true dedication, starting as a firefighter paramedic in 2001 and rising through the ranks to lieutenant, battalion chief, assistant chief of EMS operations, deputy chief of administration, then deputy chief of operations, and ultimately being appointed to fire chief in 2022. Along the way, he served on specialized teams like SHOT and the Tower Team. and helped lead an organization that today holds some of the highest distinctions in the profession, including an ISO Class 1 rating and national accreditations that place Seminole County Fire among the very best. I'm told he wanted to be fire chief on his very first day of fire school. Of course, at that time, the training center did not exist, and neither did social media. As Chief Kinley likes to say, back then, going viral meant you needed antibiotics. A Central Florida native, he grew up in the Lake Brantley area and now lives in Chuliota with his wife Sonia and daughters Sarah and Sadie, continuing a proud family legacy of fire service that started with his father, who also served as fire chief. What you may not know, on our leadership team, Chief Kinley is affectionately known as the Dream Killer. The holidays won't be so merry if that live tree goes up in flames. Sorry, kids. Candles are just a fire's way of politely entering your home. And I'm pretty sure he'd rather we power our phones by running on a hamster wheel than come close to a lithium-ion battery. What really defines Chief Kinley is his perspective on leadership. He said, leadership isn't having all the answers, it's navigating all the roads proficiently. And maybe even more importantly, doors may close, but look for the windows, which is fitting since he's always looking for the safest way out, in, or around. Chief, thank you for your leadership, your service, your relentless drive, and yes, for keeping us all just a little more aware of the everyday hazards we didn't know we needed to worry about. Congratulations on today.
And that will conclude our presentation. So if you'll join me, we will do pictures.
So we're going to do a little standing ovation for all of that.
All right, you got the front.
All right, while our employees are going back to work, I will point out, and I feel like you've already done this, but if you intend to speak, please fill out a yellow form and hand it to Ms. Drager, who's sitting in the front. With that, board members, I need a motion.
Move proof of publication.
Second.
That was a motion to accept proofs of publication in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Passes unanimously. Call for ex parte communication.
None.
Have none.
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 Mine was submitted electronically. This is, we'll move to public hearings, quasi judicial. And Ms. Latour, County Attorney, would you like to train us on how to do this?
Sure.
I'm kidding. I really am kidding. We know how to do this, but she's going to let you know how we're going to do it.
While the board welcomes comments from all persons with an interest in these proceedings, Florida law requires that the board's decision in quasi-judicial actions be supported by competent substantial evidence presented to the board during the hearings on the applications. Competent substantial evidence is such evidence as a reasonable mind would accept as adequate to support a conclusion. There must be a factual basis in the record to support opinion testimony from both expert and non-expert witnesses. Persons presenting testimony may rely on factual information that they present, information presented by county staff, information the applicant presented, or on factual information included in the county's staff report to support their testimony. All persons who present written materials to the board for consideration must ensure that a copy of such materials is provided to the clerk for inclusion in the board's record of the proceedings and the official minutes. Madam Chair.
Thank you. So this brings us to item 19, Pemberton Carports PD Major Amendment Rezone, being presented by Caitlin Apgar, Senior Planner. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Caitlin Apgar, Planning and Development Services. The applicant is requesting the approval for a rezone from PD Plan Development to PD Plan Development to allow for reduced building setbacks and buffer requirements for accessory structures on 0.87 acres located on the north side of Pemberton Drive, east of South Orange Blossom Trail. The existing future land use is planned development and the existing zoning is PD. The property is located in the business tract of the Bear Lake Plan Development. The established PD future land use does not specify a maximum floor area ratio value for the business tract. The subject site is approximately 0.87 acres and was developed in 2005 as a warehouse and office building. The purpose of the PD amendment is to allow for the existence of accessory structures to the warehouse and office building. The property has been subject to a code enforcement case relating to the unpermitted construction, inclusive of the accessory structures. In pursuit of compliance, the applicant removed the structures but requests the PD amendment in order to complete the permitting of the structures. The owner intends to retain the 3 accessory carport structures that encroach into the rear yard setback of 30 feet, resulting in a proposed rear yard setback of 6 feet. The carports also encroach into the required 100-foot buffer from the residential lot lines to the north. This is established in Condition 4 of the original Bear Lake PD Developers Commitment Agreement. The requested reductions will apply only to the accessory structures on the subject property and will not be applicable to the primary structure. The Land Development Code specifies that PDs should adhere to the greater benefit and innovation criteria and remain consistent with the comprehensive plan. As a summary, the request to amend the rear setback and 100-foot buffer from the residential lot lines does not otherwise detract from the intent of the PD. The Bear Lake PD was approved in August of 1990, which was established under slightly different criteria than existing today. Overall, the amendment to this PD does not impair the PD's ability or inability to meet these criteria on a larger scale. The residential tract for the Bear Lake PD is already constructed, and most of the parcels in the business tract are developed. The impact to the surrounding area is nominal overall in building coverage and impervious surface area. Through the proposed addendum, a maximum floor area ratio is proposed in order to regulate the intensity of the site. The maximum floor area ratio proposed is 0.65 in accordance with typical light industrial uses. The addition of the carports serve to enhance the property and obscure any storage of materials by general business and warehouse uses as allowed by the PD. The site is located in the Seminole County Utility Service Area and is connected to water service. The property was previously approved to have a septic system. The site does not have specific open space requirements per lot. However, the PD requires the overall business center development to maintain a minimum of 3.14 acres of landscaping and open space. The property has access onto Pemberton Drive, which is classified as a local road. Buffer requirements will be determined at site plan approval and will be in compliance with the Seminole County Land Development Code and DCA as applicable. In compliance with the Seminole County Land Development Code, Section 30.3.5 Community Meeting Procedure, the applicant conducted a community meeting on September 24th, 2025. Details of the community meeting have been provided in the agenda package. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on March 4th, 2026, and voted unanimously to recommend the Board of County Commissioners approve the request. The minutes of this meeting are included in the agenda package as well. Staff requests the Board of County Commissioners adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone per the following motion. Based on staff's findings and testimony and evidence received at the hearing, the Board of County Commissioners find the request meets the identified portions of the Seminole County Land Development Code and moves to adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from PD Plan Development to PD Plan Development and approve the associated developer's commitment agreement and master development plan on 0.87 acres located on the north side of Pemberton Drive, east of South Orange Blossom Trail. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here, and do you wish to make a comment?
No, I think she did one.
Well, we'll take that compliment. She does wonderfully almost all the time. I shouldn't have said almost, Caitlin. I heard you flinch at that. I saw it. She's a perfectionist.
Yes.
That's on me.
She's really done an outstanding job.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there public comment regarding this item?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll close public comment at this point. Commissioner Constantine, this is your district.
Yes, thank you very much. And I do want to point it out that, this is part of the new program that we've done with PDs and major amendment rezones. And so it was, greater benefit and innovative criteria determined at the board. If you looked at one of them, they said meet an additional arbor, tree preservation, and tree planting requirement, and minimize transportation impacts through design elements. So it's good to see that that's being worked on. Also, I would like to ask the applicant to look into the $10,000 opportunity to improve your septic tank program that we have now, instead of the old septic tank that you have. But with that said, based on the staff findings and the testimony and evidence received at the hearing, I would move that the board find the request consistent with the comprehensive plan and meets the applicable portions of the Land Development Code, and moves to adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from PD to PD Plan Development and associated developers' commitments, agreement, and master plan to allow for reduced building setbacks and buffer requirements for accessory structures on .87 acres located on the north side of Pemberton Drive, east of South Orange Blossom Trail.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Commissioners, is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. The next item is item 20, Wayside Drive Assemblage PD Major Amendment Rezone. This will be presented by Annie Silloway, Principal Planner.
Good afternoon. Annie Silloway with Development Services. The applicant is requesting a rezone from A1 Agriculture and PD Plan Development to PD Plan Development to incorporate 3 parcels into the Wayside Assemblage PD and to establish a new ingress-egress access onto International Parkway. On December 12, 2023, the applicant received approval for a PD plan development rezoning for a mixed-use development on approximately 19.48 acres that consisted of 3 tracts. Tract A, which is the higher intensity plan development target industry. Tract B, multifamily and target industry uses. And Tract C, which is commercial and office uses. Tract A and B have an existing future land use designation of HIP-TI, which allows a maximum floor area ratio of 1.5, and Tract B allows a maximum density of 40 dwelling units per net buildable acre, and Tract C has a commercial future land use designation, which allows a maximum FAR of 0.35. And these previously approved development entitlements will remain in effect. The newly incorporated parcels are approximately 1.07 acres along the west portion of the proposed development, and the newly proposed ingress-egress access onto International Drive will require an approved traffic analysis, impact analysis, prior to final development plan approval. And required improvements may include, but are not limited to, turn lanes, access limitations, and signalized intersections. The buffers along the west perimeter will be evaluated and determined at the time of final development plan, and the developer will provide 25% open space. The proposed PD zoning designation and the associated master development plan have been evaluated for compliance with the Seminole County Land Development Code review criteria for plan developments as follows. The proposed development is consistent with the Seminole County Comprehensive Plan. As stated in the next slide, the HIP-TI future land use designation aims to attract target industries for higher paying employment in strategic locations along the North I-4 corridor, emphasizing proximity to major interchanges. The developer will provide natural resource preservation by amenitizing the stormwater pond that will enhance water quality and habitat. The proposed development creates a live-work environment by reducing the commuting distance by capturing trips on-site while also promoting economic growth, and connect the development to Wayside and International Parkway. The developer will provide neighborhood and community amenities by providing landscape buffers, internal pathways, and integrated open space. The proposed development is consistent with the comprehensive plan by promoting flexibility and creativity and addressing changing social, economic, and market conditions, especially where they are used to implement adopted policies of the comprehensive plan. Per policy FLU 4.5, by uses while providing residential that is subordinate to the target industry uses, and per policy 5.3.3, commercial future land use, is to identify locations for a variety of commercial uses, neighborhood and community shopping centers. Staff finds the request to be consistent with the Seminole County Comprehensive Plan and the Land Development Code, and is compatible with the trend of development in the surrounding area. The applicant conducted a community meeting on December 2nd, 2025, and no members of the community attended the meeting. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on March 4th and voted unanimously to recommend the Board of County Commissioners adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from A1 Agriculture and PD Plan Development to PD Plan Development. Staff requests the Board of County Commissioners adopt the rezone ordinance per the following motion. Based on staff's findings and testimony and evidence received at the hearing, the board finds the request meets the identified portions of the Seminole County Land Development Code and moves to adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from A1 Agriculture and PD Plan Development to PD Plan Development, and approve the associated development order and master development plan on approximately 19.98 acres located on the south side of Wayside Drive, east of International Parkway. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Silloway. Is the applicant here, and would they like to make a comment? I think that's a yes. And a yes.
Hi, I won't take much of your time. Ben Beckham, Medmore & Stokes, engineer for the project, representing the applicant. Thanks to Annie for getting us through this. I should mention we had a positive hearing at Planning and Zoning. The purpose of this amendment is to amend a previously approved PD to add 3 small parcels to it, which will increase the access for the HIP-T portion of the project, which will make the property more marketable to HIP-T users, which I think everybody prefers. As mentioned, there's no proposed increase in entitlements for the project, so no increased density, no increased building square footage, no proposed increases over the previously approved PD. So again, thanks for getting us here today. I appreciate your time. Here to answer any questions if you need it.
Thank you very much for your comments. Are there public comments on this item?
Yes, ma'am. There's one, Mary Ann Gerald.
Ms. Gerald, please come forward. If you would, when you get there, give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Mary Ann Gerald. I live at 219 Juniper Ridge Court, Sanford, Florida. I'm right down the street from this parcel. Any other information you need? Okay. I'm going to go over 3, not much, just a little bit, but because this has such a direct effect on my land, I would like to ask for a little bit of an extension.
You just keep going.
Not much. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Mary Ann Fox-Gerald. I am one of the owners of parcel 2919-3300-0000, located on the south side of Wayside Drive in Seminole County. My family has held this land for generations. My ownership comes through the will of my great aunt, Lizzie Anna Fox Wilson. My family has a long history of contributing to this county, including donating land for public use. One example being the site provided for Wilson Elementary School. In May of 2022, I was approached by Mark Arnold, broker of KW Commercial, representing Douglas Land Company, about purchasing our parcel as part of the Wayside assemblage. We entered into a contract with Douglas Land Company in June of 2022, which was later extended and then expired as the buyers continued working through their assemblage and rezoning process. Throughout this time, I remained in communication with Mr. Arnold and cooperated fully. In August of 2023, Mr. Arnold asked me to participate in the vacation of Old Brick Road. I agreed, based on the understanding that the added land from the vacated road would increase the value of our parcel and be reflected in the purchase price. I also expected to receive a certified survey documenting the vacated area. Instead, I was given only a survey sketch. When I contacted Seminole County and the property appraiser's office, each stated the other had produced it. Ultimately, I had to pay for my own certified survey and will now be installing fencing to protect our property boundaries. On December 12, 2023, Mr. Arnold emailed my ownership group of the good news that the Wayside assemblage rezoning had been approved and stated, I will be meeting with the buyers over the next few days to discuss next steps and timelines for closing. However, when he later contacted me, I was told that because the assemblage had rezoned all the way around our parcel, it was now essentially worthless, and the buyers intended to offer less than their original contract price. I declined discussion. To be clear, the actions taken by Douglas Land Company with the approval of Seminole County have boxed in our parcel, reduced its marketability, and eliminated our ability to work with any other developers. The loss of value was not natural or unavoidable. It was the direct result of decisions made during the assemblage and rezoning process. Finally, as the Wayside assemblage project moves forward, I am requesting assurances that no development activity, including grading, drainage changes, or site preparation, will cause physical damage, flooding, or any other negative impacts to our parcel. Finally, I ask that Seminole County recognize the position this process has placed our ownership group in and be willing to work with us in the future so that we may recover the value and opportunities that have been adversely affected as a result of the Wayside assemblage and rezone. I respectfully request that this statement be made part of the public record for this agenda item so that all parties are aware of our ownership and our concerns. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for doing that in under 3 minutes. I think that was under 3 minutes. This will be made part of the public record, so that wish is granted by virtue of you being here and doing this.
Okay.
This is all public record. Thank you. If there are no further public comments, I will ask if I don't know that the applicant needs to rebut that, so there's a shaking of the head no. We agree on that. We will close public comment. This is my district.
Madam Chair, if you want, I'm happy to make the motion on your
Thank you.
behalf. I move, based on staff's findings and testimony and evidence received at the hearing, the board finds the request meets the identified portions of Seminole County Land Development Code and moves to adopt the ordinance enacting a rezone from A1 agriculture to PD plan development to PD plan development, approve associated development order and master development plan on approximately 19.98 acres located on the south side of Wayside Drive, east of International Parkway.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure, I want to check on the only public comment that was made, if I could just check with the attorney and have there be clarification that what was shared does not have any direct bearing on the decision before us today.
I mean, that's a decision for the board to make, whether you think that the testimony presented is competent and substantial evidence.
Well, I just want to make sure that that is what I perceived is that is a separate issue that is perhaps a civil matter that probably does not actually have bearing on this decision and this rezoning. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, to my knowledge, there is the rezoning will not cut off access or something like that to an existing property. This rezone adding these 3 lots.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because we just kind of like that.
I appreciate you getting that on the record. That was my understanding as well. Were you raising your hand?
No, I was moving my mic.
Okay. Now I'm just paranoid to the right of us. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion passes unanimously. The next item is item number 21, Rock Church Special Exception. This will be presented by Caitlin Apgar, Senior Planner.
Hello again, Caitlin Apgar, Planning and Development Services. The applicant is requesting the approval for a special exception to allow the use of a church and daycare in the A1 Agriculture Zoning District on approximately 10.62 acres located on the south side of West State Road 46 and west of Orange Boulevard. The property has a future land use of suburban estates and a zoning designation of A1 agriculture. The property is located within the Wekiva River Protection Area, the East Lake Sylvan Transitional Area, the West State Road 46 Scenic Corridor Overlay District, and the Aquifer Recharge Overlay. The proposed daycare requires approval of a special exception in the A1 zoning district. Per the Land Development Code update of 2024, civic assembly uses now require a special exception approval as opposed to prior versions of the code. Thus, the expansion of the assembly space and daycare require approval of a new special exception. The site has operated as a church since 2007 with a school component that was granted special exception in 2016 with the condition of approval that the private school should not exceed 150 students. This special exception is remaining in place for the existing building. The current request is an addendum to the previously approved special exception. An addendum was pursued in this case due to some statutory considerations that may be applicable to private schools on church sites. Mesa may be able to expand upon this a bit more at any point.
Would you like to expand on that now? You've been called on.
Sure, I'll expand on that now. So this property has an existing special exception, as Caitlin said. In 2024, the state legislature passed a law that said private schools can now locate in any church or theater, cinema, library, those types of buildings that have been in operation as a church or a library or cinema for 5 years. Private schools can locate within those buildings by right, and the county cannot require a rezoning or a special exception to allow them to locate there. So since this is a new building, it wouldn't apply to the new building. But since the old building has been in operation for that long, they're not asking for anything as pertains to that. So we're leaving the special exception that's in place there, and they're going to continue to operate under that. So this is just for the new building.
Questions from the board for our attorney? All right.
Thank you. The current request is for the construction of a new assembly building, addition of classrooms, and the addition of a daycare component to the existing private school. The proposed new 14,519 square foot assembly building will have a seating capacity of 330 chairs and additional office and daycare rooms. The project also includes renovation of the existing 11,670 square foot building to accommodate additional classrooms and office spaces. The proposed development is consistent with the special exception criteria as stated in the following slides and staff report. As a summary, the proposed addition of daycare and assembly space is intended to serve the surrounding residential population. The existing church functions as a transitional buffer between major arterial roads, State Road 46 and State Road 429, and the existing residential neighborhood. The applicant has demonstrated adequate buffering and increased separation distance for proposed structures in order to meet compatibility with the surrounding area. A private school and daycare may function as an accessory use to the church. Therefore, the request is consistent with the character. The site is currently developed as a church. The parking provided is compliant with the code and provides a loop to prevent queuing out onto State Road 446. As depicted in the stacking plan provided by the applicant. The school and daycare operate during weekday hours that do not overlap with the church. The property meets identified portions of the comprehensive plan with low-intensity development, as further discussed in the staff report and as required by the Wekiva River Protection Area and future land use designation. The subject site consists of 10.6 acres and anticipates church attendance of approximately 330 people. The proposed addition of the daycare and assembly space is considered compatible and is intended to serve the surrounding residential population. Upon staff evaluation, the trips generated will likely not exceed the threshold that would require roadway improvements, but will require further examination by traffic engineering. A traffic impact study will be required during the site plan review. The applicant requests a daycare cap of 141, to which staff is able to support based on the trips generated and stacking plan provided. In compliance with Seminole County Land Development Code Section 30.3.5, Community Meeting Procedures, the applicant conducted a community meeting on December 29th, 2025. Details of the community meeting have been provided in the agenda package. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on March 4th, 2026, and voted unanimously to recommend the Board of County Commissioners approve the request. The minutes of this meeting are also included in the agenda package. Please advise the updated development order that was passed out reflects an amended condition to the request. The previously stated condition T had erroneously included indoor amplification of sound as opposed to the updated language that only restricts outdoor amplification of sound. Any activity is still subject to the sound provisions of the Code of Ordinances in addition to the proposed restriction. Staff finds this request meets the identified portions of section 30.3.1.5 special exceptions of the Seminole County Land Development Code. Therefore, staff requests the Board of County Commissioners approve the special exception and the associated development order with the updated language to condition T to allow the use of a church and daycare located in the A1 Agriculture Zoning District on approximately 10.62 acres located on the south side of West State Road 46 and west of Orange Boulevard. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here, and do you wish to make a comment? Please take the podium, name and address for the record.
Thank you. Maverick Von Herbalist, McKee Construction, 717 Monroe Road, Sanford, Florida. I'm just here for two quick things. One, Caitlin and the rest of the staff that we've met with has went above and beyond it's been since last year, kind of working through these because there's been a lot of little obstacles that we've had to jump a lot of them, and we're finally here today. So I really appreciate her and Dag Marie and the rest of the staff that's helped with this. I did just want to mention one quick thing is that when we did meet with some of the residents back at the end of last year, there was a couple that that I guess kind of assumed that we were affecting a conservation area that's on site. I just want to make sure that we're clear and on record that we are not affecting the conservation area whatsoever. Other than that, I'm just here if there's any questions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We will move on to public comment. I see a pile of yellow forms. How many do you have?
9, Madam.
9. And we've received a significant number of forms up here, and I want to assure you that they've been passed down the dais. They'll be put back to the clerk for the record, but we've all seen them. Please call the first 3, and if you would queue up over here, that would be fabulous.
Miracle Dorsey, Kaylee Hoffman, and Tim Carney.
And you will be limited to 3 minutes. I do ask that you all not repeat what someone else has said. If you try not to duplicate previous comments, that keeps us focused. The more focused we are, the better this all goes. Trust me on this. Good morning and welcome, and if you'll just give us your name for the record, that would be fabulous.
My name is Miracle. The first time I went here, I was 5 months, and I was known as a very smart, speedy kid. The teachers never give up on you because each one is unique in their own way. If you get hurt, they will help you up. If you get sad, they will make you smile. If you ever need a helping hand, the Rock will be the first to lift you up. The Rock expanding would be a great way to grow our family and school. Be bigger in size, but it will be a challenge to go through, but we can do it together.
Well done, Miracle. Thank you. So for the adults, name and address for the record.
Of course. My name is Kaylee Hoffman. I live 5 minutes down the road, not even, 115 North Scott Avenue, Sanford, Florida. And I have the honor and privilege of being the Rock Academy principal. I have been the principal for 5 years. I have worked at the school. I have a loud voice, I'm sorry. I have worked at the school the whole time that it has been there as a teacher. In the last 5 years, been principal. I'm actually here on behalf of a parent who couldn't be here, and she wanted me to just express her heart to you, and I wanted to read that out loud to you. The Rock Church has provided a positive impact on our community for decades. I could write volumes on the incredible ways the Rock Church has bettered the life of myself, my child, and my whole family. The leadership and the people of the Rock are such an amazing, loving, caring people who desire to leave the earth better in every way for generations to come. The people of the Rock serve with excellence, compassion, and genuine love for the community, and this expansion would enable the great things being accomplished at the Rock to reach even more families than we are now. Although you can begin to grow something beautiful from a seed in a small container, it eventually needs a larger space to truly reach its full potential. So we implore you to be the one to allow the Rock of Central Florida to reach its full potential and serve the community in a capacity far greater than they already have been by allowing this expansion. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Tim Carney, 394 Hickory Springs Place in DeBary, Florida. The first thing I want to do is just express how connected I am to Seminole County. I have a beautiful daughter that attended daycare and now attends school there. My gorgeous nurse wife works there. I met the majority of my lifelong friends there. I frequently work there. I teach there. I participate in community outreach and race relations there. I'm a musician who plays live weekly there. I'm a writer who has had a musical that I co-wrote and staged performed there, and that's just for starters. And every one of those things that I listed that happened in Seminole County happened at the Rock of Central Florida. The Rock is a place of goodness, and it's a place that welcomes all. It also shows its staying power. To give that a little bit of context, the Rock of Central Florida was having services in a storefront right around the same time as many of those brave firefighters were considering enrolling into service. Finally, I want to express something that might feel a little heavy, but it's important. In a world where people have trouble getting through the day and considering tomorrow, struggling under crippling anxiety, even people in this room right now, The Rock is a place that has proven it thinks in generations. So we're not just thinking about getting through today. We're planting seeds that are going to grow for decades and centuries in this county. This is definitely a place you want to make bigger. Thank you.
Thank you. Dominique, can you call the next speakers? If you all wouldn't mind, we love the applause, but we're going to try to keep this moving. And I don't want to have to yell over it. I can, but I don't want to have to.
Ariana Kramer, Chris Myers, and Shaviv Paget.
Welcome, Ariana. You can pull that microphone down, just like I have to do. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, sorry. My name is Ariana Kramer. I am so appreciative for the Rock Academy because I was getting bullied at all the other schools. When I went to the Rock Academy, it brought me so much joy. I think the expansion will help the kids that are getting bullied now, bring them joy and spread the kindness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you can clap for Ariana. I do appreciate you trying to be compliant through that. I'm about to give her a standing ovation. Please, sir.
Christopher Myers, 1040 Cortland Boulevard, Deltona, Florida.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I'm a son, a husband, a father. I've lived a lot of places. I've known a lot of people. And I want to say that by far, Steve Parker, who is the head visionary at the Rock Central Florida, is the greatest man I've ever met in my life. You would never go wrong signing with Steve Parker. If you give him more opportunity for growth, then good will exponentially increase. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dominique, how about you call the next three?
A.J. Phillips, Dayami Red Cloud, and Thomas Weikart.
Thank you. Go ahead, name and address for the record.
Good afternoon. I'm Shaviv Paget. My address is 414 South Montgomery Avenue in DeLand, Florida. I thank you for the opportunity to come before you and just testify how amazing the Rock is. I walked in the doors 23 years ago, a completely different person. You would not recognize me. And the Rock saved my family, saved my marriage, saved my children. They're alive, they're well. I'm married to my best friend because of the Rock, because they show families how to be family and how to be real. And they don't sugarcoat it, they tell you the truth. They told me I had problems just like my husband did. I thought it was all him. By the way, some of it was me too. But I am just here to just express my gratitude for the opportunity that I am at the Rock. But there's so many other hungry families that we can serve, and you can see other Shavivs out there that walk in one way, and years later, if they dig their roots in like we did, they will see change, they will see life, they will see opportunity. I have a job there. I worked there. My dream has come true. I met my husband as a DJ in a nightclub. Now he DJs for Jesus. So the opportunities are there if we are able to expand and if we are able to grow. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for the opportunity. I love Seminole County, and I'm excited, and I'm in full acceptance of this growth.
Thank you. Young man, if you'll give us your first name for the record.
Dayami Red Cloud, 523 Lady Ireland Court, 32724. This school has really impacted me by the way they talk, act, and carry themselves all together. And it has taught me spiritually and also just with school, I'd say naturally. It's taught my family. We started going to church here, and after church it was school. Well, it all started off with summer camp, and that was pretty cool. They expect high of us, but that's because they're shaping us. Because I feel like a lot of kids are like, oh, the homework's so hard, why do we have to do this? But really, they're molding us into who we can really be, and they push us to know who we are. We had a conversation about that on Monday, and it was really awesome because it's showing that they really care. I personally have learned who I am here at the Rock Academy. The expansion will help bring more kids to have this experience I'm having, and I believe that could literally change the earth. And I've seen kids who don't come from the best background change into something you wouldn't even think that's where they came from. And it's changed my family, like I said earlier, and I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Thomas Weichart, and I live at 5019 Northern Dove Avenue, Mount Dora, Florida. Chairman, Commissioners, City staff, and neighbors, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I am a proud U.S. combat veteran and a lifelong resident of the community. I stand before you as a member of the Rock of Central Florida to ask for your support for our church building expansion. For years, the Rock has been more than a place of worship. It has been a place of service and stability for our neighbors. Our campus currently houses a school and an early learning center that provides quality education and childcare to families across the city. Those programs allow parents to work and children to learn and grow in a safe, nurturing environment. The church also operates local outreach programs, food distribution, mentoring, and support services that meet immediate needs and strengthens families. For example, during hurricanes, we have a response team to help and support our community as they recover and rebuild. Our impact extends beyond local borders. The Rock has partnered with communities in Honduras, Cuba, and Nigeria, providing relief, infrastructure support, education, and medical care. I have had the honor of serving as a team leader of our medical mission in Nigeria, where our volunteers and medical professionals have performed hundreds of surgeries and countless procedures that otherwise would not have been available. Those missions save lives, restore dignity, and build lifelong relationships of compassion and cooperation, all organized and supported through our church, the Rock of Central Florida. The proposed expansion is modest and purpose-driven. It will allow us to enlarge our early learning center, increase classroom space for the school, and increase our resources. These are tangible public benefits. More classroom space for children, expanded child care capacities for working families, increased local volunteer opportunities, and enhanced community support that reduce strain on government resources. We understand the board's responsibility to ensure responsible development, which align with our goals. We are an excellent and responsible neighbor and will continue to be as we grow in our capacity to serve. As a veteran, I believe strongly in service to community and country. The value that led me to serve in uniform are the same values that drive our congregation to serve locally and globally. Allowing the Rock to expand is an investment in people, children gaining education, family gaining stability, neighbors being supported, and communities overseas receiving life-changing aid. I respectfully ask this board to approve our request for expansion so we can continue and increase this work. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Dominique, will you call the next three? You can come up, sir.
This is the last speaker.
This is the last speaker?
Here
had
I
a lot-
am.
the pile down there looked like it was growing, so I was a little nervous.
Hi, thank you guys for your time this afternoon. My name is Archie Josiah Phillips III, and I really am so grateful of what the Rock of Central Florida is and what it has been for me. You saw Diami. Right now, I'm able to be in ministry full-time, and I'm the youth director here at the Rock of Central Florida. But I remember being Diami's age and walking through the doors of the Rock. And now, from 9 years old to a 29-year-old man, I'll be 30 this year, a 29-year-old man, I've never looked for an opportunity to look outside the Rock or try to find, hey, what the grass is greener on the other side, because the people at the Rock of Central Florida know how to be family, and that comes through time, and it comes through walking through hard seasons, and it comes through the Father, Yahweh's provision. And so anything that you do to help us expand the vision of the Rock of Central Florida, the vision of STEM, excuse me, the vision of Kim and Steve Parker. And not only is it the vision of Kim and Steve Parker, but everyone that you see sitting in here, we have bought the vision up, and now it is ours. And you don't know where their vision stops and ours begins. So I thank you for this opportunity, and hopefully this gets approved. And I'm evidence of the generational blessing that Tim Carney spoke about. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll close public comment. I suspect that the applicant doesn't have a rebuttal to any of that. Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
Madam Chair, I'm happy to make a motion on your behalf if you desire.
Sure.
I'll move to, based on staff's findings, the testimony and evidence received at the hearing, the Board of County Commission finds the request meets the identified portions of the Land Development Code, and move to approve the special exception associated with development order with the update to condition T to allow with conditions the use of a church and daycare in the A1 Agricultural Zoning District on approximately 10.62 acres located on the south side of West State Road 46 west of Orange Boulevard.
I'll second with a comment, if I may.
Please.
Loved hearing all of the positive impact that this church has had on your community. I think it is important, though, to note, like I did with the last item, that our vote is based on competent, substantial evidence related to our land development code and as provided by our staff. So loved hearing it, but unfortunately not much of what you shared is relevant to my vote. It's wonderful to hear, and I'm happy for it, but I just felt like I needed to put that on the record for whatever future purpose there may be.
Yes, Commissioner Zimbauer.
I concur completely. There's no question this church has done great work in many young people's lives, and as well as other adults in our community. And again, that's not something, although it's great to hear those stories, and we love those stories, and we love to have those benefits to our community, that's not something we can base our decision upon. It's based on the dynamics of what's permissible under our code, is why I moved that forward as well. But glad to hear so many great stories and the good work you folks are doing on behalf of those that are attending your congregations. Good stuff.
So I'll make the comment that staff did find that this was permissible under the code. And hearing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Thank you for your service to the community.
Thank you.
I have no idea. Probably third.
I had to come back to submit. I forgot to give it to, okay, all right, thank you. Bye.
Oh, good to see you, Marianne.
I'll give it a minute to...
Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you.
Well, they're probably ordering lunches.
Hey, does anybody care for chocolate?
No, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
I think she might need some.
Anyone?
I'm good. You want something?
I think he was passing the mints down to us on purpose.
No, they just happen to be in there.
We'll take some mints.
All right, it looks like we're about to clear out the audience, so we'll move on to public hearing legislative. And this item is going to be presented by Mandy Salazar from Parks and Recreation. Welcome, Mandy.
Hello. For the record, Mandy Salazar, Division Manager for Parks and Recreation. Good afternoon, Commissioners. We are here today to present the request to update our admin code to reflect an ordinance to prohibit using tobacco products in our beautiful parks. This initiative began over a year ago when we were approached by Tobacco Free Florida to work and adopt an ordinance that would reflect new legislation at the state level. This legislation was passed in 2022. Sorry. There we go. that granted local municipalities the ability to limit smoking and vaping in county-owned parks, which would now allow our staff to enforce this rule around playgrounds, fields, and public recreational spaces, and also encourage healthy initiatives such as Healthy Lungs at Play. As you can see by this list, we will not be the first on the table to adding this ordinance to our arsenal, as dozens of our neighboring cities and counties have issued the same ordinance in the last 4 years since it was adopted. And why this matters for current work, we are in the process of updating and replacing all of our park and trail signs around the county. And if passed, this new regulation will be added to those signs to further support the prohibition and reinforce the new rule at every entrance and exit for our parks. So at this time, staff are recommending approval for the ordinance.
Thank you very much. Is there any public comment requests for this?
No, ma'am.
We'll close public comment. Commissioners, yes.
Oh, no,
Commissioner.
you had something.
I have a question, whatever. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I was just
Commissioner
gonna-
Constantine.
I'm going to make a motion. to
Okay, go ahead, then I can get questions afterwards.
First of all, I am happy to support this. I think that our parks should be a haven away from tobacco, smoking, and vaping. I was sad to hear that you are not allowed, we are not, and before I get the question, because we're out at a park and somebody is smoking a cigar, I was told that we cannot, by state statute, stop people from smoking cigars at our parks, which I find strange. I'll just use that word. But I'm excited that we can make our own parks, our great and beautiful parks, tobacco-free. And I will make a motion to move this ordinance.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Zimbauer, did you have a comment?
So I just want to make sure, I think what I heard, when entering and exiting is my concern. The enforcement, how are we enforcing this otherwise?
Currently, if we see someone smoking in the bleachers, we're not allowed to say anything because there's nothing for us to show why they can't be doing it. So we are able to add this to signage. We'll be able to put up special initiative signs for groups that have been reaching out, the Healthy Lungs at Play, et cetera. And our staff, if they see somebody doing it, now we'll be able to ask them comfortably to leave the property if they would like to do that.
Understood, but let's carry that to the trails. Let's say somebody's out enjoying the trail, they decide they're going to smoke a cigarette or maybe a marijuana joint, whatever it might be, and now another resident confronts them and says, hey, there's no smoking here. Is there going to be a park ranger or anybody there to control that? How are we funding that?
We do have a park ranger. We're in the process of
Understood.
rehiring one, so I mean, it is a process that we'll have to be working towards because this is a new thing for us to enforce. So it's been really nice to reach out to other municipalities. I mean, we have a really nice list of people we're able to reach out to ask how they do that on a regular basis. So I'm sure we'll have some growing pains to figure out how we're going to do that. But now hopefully we will have this good foundation to build off of where we can find better ways and more polite ways to be able to do that, where the residents will now know that this is an expectation when they visit our parks and trails.
Good, because had I known that if we wanted to push forward a no smoking ban in our parks to get park rangers in our parks, I would have supported pushing this forward 6-7 years ago, because we have other issues in our parks and trails, and we don't seem to have the funding to hire park rangers. I think we've now hired, one or two for the entire county, for hundreds of miles of trails and parks that a lot of people enjoy, not only from our county, but outside this county. So my concern is we're passing a law, but if it doesn't have an enforcement mechanism that could lead to a confrontation or some other issue between residents is somewhat concerning. So has Tobacco Free Florida sent any funding along with this for park rangers?
No, sir.
All right, those are my questions.
I think that was a rhetorical question. I appreciate you indulging. Yes, Commissioner Delory.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you define to me, since you're allowed to smoke cigars, what's the difference between a cigar and a cigarette, and how you differentiate between the two?
I do not have the answer to that. I know with the ordinance, it was the filter-free cigars. I don't know if Kate's able to pop in on
They're
that.
fatter.
We don't have definition in our code, Commissioner, but they're different products, and
They
they're
smell
regulated
different.
differently.
Because I've seen cigars look like cigarettes.
Well,
Those are usually the cheap ones.
Tiparillos, I think they're.
I would have to look to see if cigar was defined in the state statute that allows us to ban
I'm just
smoking,
bringing
which
it
would
up
just
because
take me
Commissioner
a few
Constantine brought it up.
moments.
Since Commissioner Constantine brought it up, it's a question.
Well, the legislature did take the liberty of prohibiting the county's ability from prohibiting smoking cigars, so that's why I suspect it's defined in the statute that defines cigarettes and cigars differently. But I don't know much about smoking cigars and cigarettes, but isn't it a different kind of
Neither do I. I'm
tobacco?
just asking the question.
Pretty much the same tobacco.
So I'm going to pull the meeting back to Robert's rules.
Madam Chair, these are legitimate questions.
I understand they're legitimate questions. The question, I think, at hand is whether or not we think that passing an ordinance and putting signage up would be valuable at this point in time. So I'll go to Commissioner Lockhart.
So I do have a question on the choice of the use of the word may on 36D, talking about signage. I think signage is critical, and I think we should be directing the county manager or designee to post signage, not giving them the permissibility, but requiring it. And so if there is some rationale to changing the may to a shall or a will, I would like to make that friendly amendment.
So I'll take it back to the originator of the motion for
I would
consideration.
accept that. I would accept that.
Seconder agrees.
So the word may on 36D would be changed to shall. Reading signage, the county manager or designee shall post signage prohibiting smoking and vaping in county parks.
Because I agree that the first step is letting our citizens know and our visitors know what our expectation is, and you can't, it would be unfair to try to enforce something that we haven't shared what the expectation is. So having already been through two similar iterations at both the school district and all of the Seminole State College campuses being smoke-free, people actually, once you tell them that they are not, are generally very amenable and understanding, and and there are very few problems. And if it's somebody who's intent to have a problem, they're going to find a way to have a problem about something anyway, most likely. So great job. Thank you for bringing this forward. And great. Love it.
Yes, Commissioner Zimbauer?
Just I gotta say it, playing the devil's advocate. As we have barbecue grills and cooking in our parks, and that smoke is generated and inhaled by those participants who are using our parks, I'm not so sure that's not a problem as well. Just saying.
I just want to, for the record, say that this statute that's proposed doesn't include barbecues.
Correct.
And so for...
Or prescribed burns.
Or prescribed burns, or anything else. I think there's a difference in the intention between somebody cooking out and people walking around with cigarettes and vape. I would tell you that the greatest concern that I have is for kids finding this to be a place to vape out of the sight of anyone. And signage will deter some of that, and any of that we can deter is worthwhile. I think there is a natural deterrent when you post signage, as Commissioner Lockhart said, that folks will refrain from behaviors that are not acceptable in that location. There will always be people that push the limits. There will always be other concerns. From my perspective, this is a great step toward improving the health of our community. With that, I will...
Commissioner, I just want to say before, well said.
Thank you.
And also, as usual, this commission has looked through every side, every aspect of this particular thing to come to this conclusion. So I have to add this, and I hate doing it because I don't want anybody else to come. But if the legislature can tell us we can't do cigars and cigarettes, I mean, that's ludicrous. But I just thought of pipes. Does this stop people from smoking pipes? There's not very many anymore, but does this stop people from smoking pipes? Okay, good. All right. They didn't stop us from stopping pipes, just cigars. Unbelievable.
Providing us tobacco.
Good golly. So with that, I'm going to close the conversation and call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously.
Yay.
Probably much to your surprise.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. All right, that takes us to the county attorney's report. We want to know what's in the pipe.
Do you want to know how that's defined also?
Right.
Yes.
Please.
Commissioners, I just wanted to announce publicly, as Florida statute requires, that I will be requesting your advice on the litigation Malloy versus Seminole County. I'm looking at the next board meeting date of April 28th to schedule that. Unless I hear that that doesn't work, we will do what we've done the last few times and get that done, hopefully in between the morning and the afternoon session.
Great.
And that's my only report today.
All right, thank you. County Manager.
Thanks, Madam Chairman. Commissioners, just a couple items. One, based on this morning, the firefighter challenge economic impact. You know, Mr. Cunha whipped these out pretty quickly. He heard you and he got it over to me. Over $300,000 was the total economic impact, $174,000 direct economic impact. We had over 100 firefighter competitors, represented 3 countries, including our own, of course, and room nights, 180 for that. So that was a nice event. Also, just give a shout out to our Citizens Academy. It's up and running again. Our first one is this Saturday, April the 18th. It will be over at the Southeast Regional Water Supply Facility. Utilities and Environmental Services is hosting it from 10 to noon. You all should have had, thank you, flyers. This is, you know, we had over about 600 folks attend last year when we did the new academy, and basically it's an open house concept. So you just actually come to it. So we have placed this on our website. We have communicated it out, put it in our newsletters. So hopefully we'll have a great success this year as we did last year. So that's all. Thank you.
All right, terrific. That brings us to District 3. Commissioner Constantine.
Thank you. I'm going to run through this very quickly, but I did want to give a shout out to the county manager and everyone involved on the Citizens Academy, because I've heard nothing but good things. 6 new events or projects, you know, come and go as you please, but great deal of things to learn. I did want to say that on March 28th, we had 2 teams in the Lynx softball tournament. Our team won, number 1, lost in the championship, but still came in second place. I did have a trip, as I mentioned to you all, that to go, it was a site visit to one of the vendors of the Florida Trust. The Florida Trust is now up to $2.5 billion in assets. And you know this is the local government bank, basically, for those communities to both invest as well as to borrow when other borrowing opportunities is difficult. We went to a company called Payden and Regal, which is one of our professional investment firms, but I've got to tell you the backstory. They're out of LA. It was started in the late 80s, and we have been a vendor, or they've been a vendor of the Florida Trust since the 90s. Was founded by a woman who, on her own, it's still owned and operated by her and the rest of the shares are in trust to her employees. As we were looking, I didn't meet one senior employee that hadn't been there at least 15 years. She was 94 and in the office.
Wow.
And dressed to the T, impeccable. It's still very lucent. You know, we had a couple of meetings with her personally, and it was just exciting. And when I told her that my mother was 94 and could still drive, she said, God bless her, they took my license away. But it was really, really inspirational to see that. And their portfolio is $400 billion, but we are one of their longtime investors, and again, it was just a great thing to see them. On the 31st, the Statewide Council of Opioid Abatement, which myself and Sheriff Lima are on, had another meeting in which we talked a lot about the monies that are coming and going with the opioid. We still are considered the model county. And as a preferred county, we get our money directly, not from the state, which is good because the state's diverting some of that money to other places. But we did get, there was a good meeting from that. On April 11th, I just got to tell you, there was a lot of smiles at Rolling Hills. It's good to see you all there. They're so excited, and each one of you I saw all of you talking to the members and to the residents, and it was just great to see that. And so it's good to see it coming on. That same day, the Orlando Philharmonic did the Rockin' at the Roost with a tribute to the Eagles, and it was well represented. I think there were more than 1,000 people there. It was quite the crowd, and that is one of their biggest fundraisers of the year. It's great to see it. It's still in Seminole County. Tomorrow, I'm just going to go through. Tomorrow we have the Regional Planning Council meeting. We also have a Zoo Board meeting on the 16th. Career Source is opening another celebration and ribbon cutting for a hub in Altamont Springs at the library. On the 17th, Leadership Seminole Board of Directors is meeting at Seminole State College at the Heathrow campus. And the 18th, we already said, is going to be the first one for the Citizens Academy. On the 18th also is Earth Day in Castleberry, and on the 20th, the Wekiva River Basin Commission meeting. We're having another meeting. The 23rd, the Florida Trust is having a meeting again, and on the 23rd also I will be speaking to the statewide League of Women Voters on home rule in New Smyrna Beach. On the 24th, the Wekiva Island is doing an Eco Talk panel, Earth Day, which I will be participating in, and the dedication of Katie's Landing will also be that weekend. I did want to tell you a sad note. Our good friend from the University of Central Florida, who's been with us for a long time, Fred Kittinger, is retiring.
Heard that.
And they're going to have something, so I'm sure you'll hear about that later. And I also you all received, I believe, from Ginger Delegaw, information about being on different committees for the Florida Association of Counties. I just suggest you, like Commissioner Lockhart and I have done, take advantage of that. I think there's a lot to learn and also participate in. And also, the same thing goes, as you all know, I'm one of the 3 members for the Florida, the entire state of Florida for the National Association of Counties, and that will be coming up again in June. Last thing, I want to leave it on a positive note. That young man that did the dedication out at our 5 Points, in which many of you, I think all of you, were there, for the folks, the people that won the Medal of Honors. He was getting his Eagle Scout designation. He did get accepted into the United States Military Academy, so he'll be going to West Point. And I just told you his name, William Watts, and I think that's just incredible. That young man is going to go to the Military Academy. So with that, I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner Constant. Commissioner Lockhart.
Well, there's just not much left to
No.
talk about. But that's good. No, you did great. we had the final value adjustment board meeting for last year wrapped up. Thank you always to Clerk Malloy's team that handles that whole process. They are unbelievably detail-oriented and always looking for ways to improve the process and working with the property appraiser, and it's just, they do a great job. So, thank you to Commissioner Delary for serving as chair of that board for this last year. Attended the legislative update luncheon like many of you did a couple of weeks ago here at the Hilton in Altamont. I will be attending the legislative update in Winter Park for the Winter Park Chamber in a couple of days, and I will be very anxious to hear the different delegation members, so I'll be comparing notes and hearing what the message is like down there. So looking forward to it. Glad that they are going to let me cross the border the other direction and go participate in their Orange County event. Of course, we talked about, oh my goodness, I crossed off a lot of stuff. Great groundbreaking for Fire Station 25 yesterday. Thank you all so much for being out there. It was a fantastic event, and so it was so we're getting ready to start the groundbreaking. We're standing, I don't remember if it was the national anthem or we were just doing the pledge, and all of a sudden we all hear the telltale squealing of the brakes and the crash and the pop. And Commissioner, we all looked at each other and went, oh no. And Commissioner Zembauer, of course, in his area of expertise goes, yep, that was an airbag exploding.
Another job for me.
And then, the lights and sirens, and it was just, not that we wish ill on anyone, because it's tragic anytime someone is in an accident, but it was so meaningful to be able to realize that this very active corner is now going to have a station right there to be able to respond. There's a lot of activity in that part of the county, and they have needed this new fire station for many, many years. So congrats to the folks who will be staffing it and the community who will be served by it. Also wanted to mention Saturday was the 13th annual Unity Day in East Altamont. It was held at the Lily H. Green Community Center and the Wynwood Park. It's sponsored by Step Up Generations, which is a nonprofit that is actually led by a Seminole County teacher. She was a former staff member at the Boys and Girls Club, left that job and became a teacher, and loves that community so much that she has devoted countless hours and efforts fundraising to bring all sorts of community partners out there. It was every resource that you could possibly imagine was gathered at the Lily H. Green. They had music and a DJ and hot dogs and hamburgers and all kinds of fun stuff. But the best thing, one of the best things, the hamburgers were good. Did you go?
Yes.
I must have missed you. One of the best things was I got to meet a young man who is a Lyman High School graduate, went down to Florida International University, graduated, came home, started his own nonprofit, teaching people how to grow food. And he has several community gardens, one at the Apostolic Church of Jesus Christ right there in the community. He's looking for other partners and to come alongside him. He also has a business where if you want to hire him to come and start a garden at your home, he'll walk you through all of that, design it for you. He's just a go-getter, great young man, very excited. So be a hero. Find a hero. Shoot. I'm going to get the name, and I'm going to remember. Nate Jefferson is his name, and I will find the name of his nonprofit again before we leave, so that I can tell you all to look up his nonprofit, because I was so impressed by him. Senator Scott and Congressman Mills will be holding their annual Academy Day at Seminole State College on April 18th from 9:30 to noon in the Automotive Training Center showroom. Those opportunities happen all throughout the state, and so for us to host here at Seminole State College is wonderful for them to have those Academy Days here. Those are for students to be entering our military academies, like Commissioner Constantine mentioned earlier. And finally, bless you. Sorry.
Zoom tight.
It's Okay. The flags that are on our dais, we had them out at our last meeting, but I just wanted to point out, these are the America 250 flags that are sponsored by the Daughters of the American Revolution, and you have one at each of your places here on the dais, and it is wonderful to be able to celebrate and continue to commemorate at every meeting the fact that this year is a very special year for our country, turning 250. And today, I said finally, but I lied, today is National Gardening Day. And it promotes everyone starting their own garden, growing things, whether it be vegetables or flowers or just things that can help uplift your spirits. So plant a seed.
Tomorrow's National
That was your
Tax
finally?
Day.
That was my finally.
All
But I
right.
reserve the right when I find this young man's name to have that be my finally.
All right,
Okay.
Commissioner Delary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I'd like to ask Commissioner Constantine a question. You mentioned Wekiva Island and Earth Day. Earth Day is the 22nd, which is a Wednesday.
Yes.
I believe you're speaking on Friday,
Yes,
which is the 24th at 7 p.m.
correct.
And the topic is going to be protecting Florida's water and land, correct?
Correct.
I'm bringing this back because the last time you spoke at Earth Day at Wekiva Island, you did such a phenomenal job. It was amazing. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say again this time.
Thanks, Bob.
Also, on March 28th, the Women's All-Star Volleyball team was at UCF. Commissioner Constantine and I were there. It was amazing to see, not the crowd, but the crowd. I mean, it was big, wasn't it, Lee?
Yes.
And then also, I've been told asked to bring this up from Commissioner Matt Morgan from Longwood, is the 4th Annual City of Longwood Walk for Autism Awareness and Inclusion, which will be on April 25th at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that is in Ryder Park. That is the end of my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Zimbauer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today is also National Pecan Day and National Donate a Book Day, but it's also Administrative Professionals Day. So thank you all very much for everything you all do on behalf of the county here as administrators. Of course, we all were at the Midway Drainage on 325. After that, I attended the Duda family 100th anniversary and opening of their new corporate office in Oviedo. I've asked for a proclamation to be entered, as a local family here starting out in the celery business, and now they are internationally farming, and of course they're in so many different things now. So it was a great, well-attended. Commissioner Agriculture was there, and many others were there in attendance for that as well. On the 8th, I attended the State of Construction in Maitland. Commissioner Constantine was there as well. The Associated Building Contractors Central Florida sponsored that event at the Maitland Civic Center. Of course, Rolling Hills has been already mentioned, so I won't go into that. The Fire Station 25 grand opening, I won't go into that. On the 16th, the Oviedo Women's Club Scholarship and Teacher Grants Award ceremony be at 6:30 p.m. at the First Methodist Church in Oviedo at the Fellowship Hall. Also, on the 30th this month is one of my key fundraisers for the community, which is the Golden Eagle Dinner. I hope you all may be able to attend. That is on Thursday, the 30th of this month. And of course, tomorrow is National Tax Day.
Give away your money.
That's right. But I also want to bring your attention to a tragic story in case you have not heard. I don't think it's shown up in the news yet, but you've probably noticed a good portion of my district has State Road 46 within it. And of course, a couple other commissioners, State Road 46, as it gets more into the urban area, transects it. But we continue to have, unfortunately, fatal accidents occurring on State Road 46, between the county line and Geneva and so forth. But unfortunately, a 24-year-old mother lost her life last night or early this morning that was carrying a baby along State Road 46 and was hit by a vehicle. And keep the baby in your prayers. The baby supposedly is going to be okay, but the mother is deceased. But this is another reason why I've been so vocal. We don't know the whole story behind this one, so I'm not going to think that we do. But this is why I've been so adamant about why it's important that State Road 46 improvements need to be considered through FDOT, and I've spoke to FDOT about that. Not only from that aspect, but it's also an evacuation route for those on the East Coast, and it's about the only one that has not been four-laned or improvements. So people that are in that geographic area either have to go all the way down to Highway 50, all the way up to New Smyrna to come inland if 46 blocks is a two-lane road. The EMU stays contained, so it's not running around Geneva. So that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. So just so that we all feel a little bit better, today is not Administrative Professionals Days. It's the 22nd this year. So we were close because we were all feeling pretty bad about forgetting it. Jay's just a little bit ahead of the pack there. I saw Tricia panicked. We did the midway groundbreaking ceremony. Thank you for everyone who attended that. That is truly exciting that we have actually turned dirt on that project. So at the Seminole County Legislative Session, Representative Banks mentioned that there was an economist that did a study on the economic impact of, no, I don't even remember what bill it was.
Property taxes.
Property taxes, thank you. And I did secure it, and I did share it with you. It is speaking points, perhaps they gave me the wrong thing. I will go back and ask again, because that is not an economist report on property taxes. So just know I'm not going to let that go.
Good.
I did attend the 25th anniversary of Seminole State College Robert and Jane Lee Oviedo campus. It was so nicely done, and it's amazing that it's been 25 years. That seems like it was yesterday. I had the chance to stand in for Guy, and I really hope never to have to do that again, because he gave me specific speaking points to make sure that I was on target for the impact of the simulation industry in Seminole County. And so it was a really Good Morning Seminole. The team that did all the speaking did all the work. And Guy is a hard act to follow, and I don't want to have to do that again. I do have an update from the Sanford Airport Authority Board. Allegiant is growing. They are acquiring Sun Country. This is good news for the Sanford Airport because Sun Country does have international flights. That does not mean that we're getting international flights, but it does mean that now Allegiant has international flights. And we are one of their best partners, so let's hold out hope. Some of them go out. There are flights that go out of Goa for Sun Country, and there may be opportunities for us there. One of the interesting things that I learned in that meeting was that the cost of fuel is obviously drastically impacting the airlines around the country. Allegiant is actually in a better position than most airlines around the country because they own their fleet, and their fleet is a newer fleet. And so they are in a different capital and cash position to weather the storm of higher costs. I thought that was very interesting. They also operate under a same passenger count and fewer flight model, which absolutely helps them to gain competitive ground when they're in this environment. The airport CEO, Nicole Martz, has asked that she be kept aware of what's happening with the JPA with Sanford, and I've relayed that information to the county manager in the for the record category. I'll skip on to two more fun topics. I did do a ribbon cutting for the Holy Zoo Barbecue grand opening, and I would tell you it was the food.
Zoo?
No, well, it was packed, first of all, but the food was amazing. It was crazy amazing, so I would say check it out. It's in Longwood on the Ronald Reagan. The Bronx House did their annual event for ROM, and they raised in excess of $15,000, which is 50% more than they did last year, so citizens continue to go out there. 100% of the cash receipts for the day, it's not the profits, go to the organization, and it includes gift cards, so I'll just say that is an amazing thing.
How many gift cards did you buy?
A lot.
I bought 3 pizzas.
I bought 3 pizzas for a year. We eat there anyway. The food is delicious. At the CFX board meeting, I did run into Secretary Tyler, and he did share some information about the rest stops that we all know. The construction on our rest stop is going to be the first that starts. As you all know, I was very adamant about I don't want to be the only rest stop on I-4, but they are staging them. Ours is starting first. There is a different ground requirement from an engineering perspective on ours that will take longer. Volusia will follow shortly after ours. The idea is that they will open at a similar time. And Orange County is now funded and moving forward as well. So, and that he committed that he would stay close on communication with our team. So I'm going to give a shout out for a very huge thank you, because I literally pestered him for the entire first 2 years of my time sitting on boards with him. I think he was trying to get a seat moved away from me, but they heard, they listened. It's pretty awesome. I would tell you that there was also a presentation at CFX done by FDOT, Will Watts, who's the COO, Assistant Secretary, and I think there's a process called progressive design build that is, I'm sure you all are aware of it from the other boards that you're sitting on, but what it is netting for FDOT is increased competition on their RFPs, more bidders are responding, reducing cost overall. There is a higher cost for design that we'd have to learn how to get okay with, but a lower cost for the overall project. So I bring that to all of our attention, that it may be something that we all want to embrace. This one is for Commissioner Constantine. Lake County State Road 516, that's a CFX project, is piloting in-road charging. So if Commissioner Constantine, once that road is open, is riding up and down it, we'll all know why that's happening.
As his battery drains to get back home.
As the battery drains to get back home.
But that is exciting.
It is exciting. It is exciting. And our 417 Airport Connector has officially been named SR 552 Seminole Connector. There is a process for that, as you may know.
Commissioner Burr, is that not, I think just a prototype, when you were talking about the charging, they are finding a way to charge for that. So the folks that we have to find alternatives for the gas tax, because that's reducing, and there's so many more electric cars, that this might be another alternative to getting more money. I just wanted to say that as Jay is sitting here giving me a hard time because it's not getting any money.
The roadway is going to be very interesting maintenance.
Yeah. It's a whole interesting thing. All right. The last thing I'll mention is that the Seminole County Chamber now has over 800 members. It's the largest the organization has ever been. It's a testament to the organization. They do a lot of work. They are a great advocate for us, and I congratulate them on getting to that stage. I would point out that today is also Dolphin Day and National Look Up at the Sky Day, in case you need to look random out on the street. And if
There's a lot of that going on already.
There's a lot of that going on already. And the last thing I'll close with is that for our firefighter and paramedics, they've had a tough couple of days with 2 fatal incidents, and just know that you're in our hearts and prayers.
Absolutely. Wishing for a hero.
Commissioner?
Wishing for a hero.
I just wanted, I think, as far as rescue outreach mission, aren't they having a rescue on the runway?
They are having a
24th?
rescue on the runway on the 24th. Thank you, Commissioner Constantine. And it is a fundraiser, and tickets are there. Actually, I will tell you, that event is a really fun event. It's this year, last year it was Rescue on the River, this year it's on the runway, it's at the hangar that is the big bar. And so, for lack of a better way to say it. So I would encourage you to buy tickets and attend that and support Rescue Outreach Mission. With that, that concludes my report. Is there any public comment that we have not heard yet today?
No, ma'am.
Any event in Seminole County.
I do want to make sure you did hear me. So the name of the nonprofit is Wishing for a Hero. His business is Garden Bros. It is Nate Jefferson. And if you look at my Facebook page, I have shared his flyers so that you can go to his information directly.
All right, thank you.
Love a young entrepreneur who likes gardens.
With that, we...
Win-win.
Can I adjourn now?
Well, I mean, yeah, if you want.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Have a good...
Thank you.